In the headlines of VTV News, Prime Minister urges stronger national digital transformation. Ho Chi Minh City records lowest birth rate nationwide. And later on in our world news, NATO seeks new development directions.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News, broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh attended the National Political Military Conference on Wednesday to review the leadership and direction over military and defense affairs in the first 6 months of 2024 and to launch tasks for the rest of the year. This in the following story.
In the first half of the year, the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense have effectively directed the entire army to perform its functions as a combat force, a working force, and a production force, and comprehensively completed assigned tasks. The Prime Minister hailed the positive results achieved by the Ministry of National Defense and the entire army in the past 6 months. He requested the entire army carry out new tasks and strictly implement the General Secretary's instruction at the recent Central Military Commission conference.
Firstly, we must ensure combat readiness in any circumstance. Secondly, we must pay special attention to strategically important areas, key partners, and objects of struggle. Thirdly, we must handle arising problems and emerging issues in a timely manner. The Ministry of National Defense needs to effectively deploy programs, plans, and projects in the logistics, engineering, and defense industries. I suggest the ministry should take the lead in promoting the digital economy, green economy, and circular economy.
The government leader reminded the Vietnam People's Army to continue fulfilling civil defense tasks, playing a key role in natural disaster prevention and control, incident response, and search and rescue activities. The Prime Minister asked the Ministry of National Defense to coordinate closely with the Ministry of Public Security and other forces to maintain security and order, prevent crimes, enhance law enforcement efficiency at sea, and combat illegal fishing.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, who is also chairman of the National Committee on Digital Transformation, chaired the 9th meeting of the committee and the government's Project No. 6 Implementation Working Group. The meeting aimed to review progress in the first half of the year and outline tasks for the remaining 6 months. It was also virtually connected to ministries, departments, and all 63 provinces and cities across the country.
According to the meeting's report, the digital economy is estimated to grow by 22.4% and account for an 18.3% share in GDP in the first 6 months of the year. Revenue in the digital economy reached nearly $78.7 billion, up 26% over the same period last year. The number of Vietnamese digital technology enterprises increased by 8% over the same period. To date, there have been about 51.6 million applications submitted on the National Public Service Portal. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh acknowledged the outstanding results of digital transformation in the recent times. Commenting on Project 06 implementation in the past 6 months, the government leader indicated several shortcomings. He stressed the need to raise awareness about the necessity of digital transformation and the role of leaders in boosting this process.
Localities should prioritize the development of databases within their departments and agencies, and ensure data sharing with ministries, other departments, and other localities. It is essential to concentrate resources on strengthening the national database. I propose that ministers, department heads, and People's Committee chairs take responsibility for advancing this effort. Localities must recognize the strategic importance of digital transformation to allocate sufficient resources for its implementation.
Prime Minister Phie requested that by 2025, 100% of online public services will be fully implemented. 90% of people and businesses will be satisfied in handling administrative procedures. The Prime Minister requested enhanced digital transformation in tax management, development of the electronic payment infrastructure, and prompt deployment of the remaining 30 essential public services.
The National Assembly Standing Committee held its 35th session to review and discuss 6 important issues. Opening the session, National Assembly Chairman Chen Teng-min stated that early preparation will ensure the timely delivery of documents to delegates and improve the quality of the review reports of the National Assembly's Ethnic Council and committees. The National Assembly Chairman said the session will also address 2 new activities of the National Assembly, the Legal Forum and the Forum on Supreme Supervision. These activities aim to accurately reflect voters' concerns, helping the government, ministries and branches better manage and operate the economy. The National Assembly Standing Committee also reviewed and approved the draft resolution on the dissolution, establishment and merger of several military region criminal investigation agencies and their equivalents, as well as regional criminal investigation agencies in the Vietnam People's Army. They also reviewed the draft resolution on improving the organization and apparatus of the military procuracy at all levels and the report on the National Assembly's public opinion work in May and June 2024. Since the beginning of the year, Bắc Giang province has achieved impressive economic growth. The growth rate of gross regional domestic product reached 14.14%, marking the highest level on record. This outstanding growth can be attributed to the province's effective policies, particularly those aimed at supporting human resource training and recruiting a large workforce capable of meeting the demands of foreign investment projects in the area.
This Chinese company has recently invested an additional $330 million in expanding factories specializing in assembly products for Apple and other tech companies in Bắc Giang province. The company's main concern is human resources.
Bắc Giang province's leaders directly brought our business delegation to other provinces and universities to recruit workers. Thanks to that, our company has been able to recruit more highly qualified employees.
FDI inflows into Bắc Giang province have solidified its position as a top destination among localities in the northern Midlands and Mountains region. Recently, provincial leaders have guided businesses delegations to recruit both unskilled workers and high-quality personnel from other provinces.
The company provides financial support to workers from other provinces like myself, covering monthly expenses. This support allows me to work here comfortably.
Many foreign enterprises with good employee benefits chose Bắc Giang as their station. I believe I can access bright career opportunities when working here.
We review information about the employee benefits and supervise the implementation to ensure that the enterprises in Bắc Giang province fully comply with their commitments to the workers.
Recruiting workers is primarily the responsibility of businesses. However, with the close support of local leaders, this task becomes much easier. This highlights the effectiveness of the local authorities' measures.
Technological innovation and green transformation in the production chain are optimal solutions for business operation in the new context. These points were highlighted at the International Leather and Footwear Exhibition, which is going on in Ho Chi Minh City. The event provides Vietnamese leather, footwear, and handbag businesses with an opportunity to carry out trade promotion activities and open up export markets in order to achieve the set target of more than $27 billion in export turnover in 2024. The exhibition drew the participation of 800 businesses from 21 countries and territories. On display are a variety of products, including machinery and equipment, raw materials, finished leather and footwear products, and domestic and international fashion handbags. As many as 350 booths run by both domestic and foreign firms are displaying the latest technological solutions at the first ever iTech Expo 2024, which opened with the theme of New Tech for the New Era in Ho Chi Minh City on July the 10th. The exhibition features a range of innovative solutions in 18 technology sectors, including 5G, AI, holograms, LED technology, blockchain, smart factories, and high-tech agriculture. Highlights also include products, solutions, and services related to smart lighting, smart city development applications, consumer electronics, information technology, manufacturing equipment, and electronic components. Along with local groups, the participating organizations, associations, and suppliers come from more than 10 nations and territories, including China, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan of China, the Republic of Korea, Japan, the Czech Republic, the UK, the United States, Australia, and Russia. The aquaculture sector is recognizing the carbon credit potential in the seaweed industry, which can store 1,500 tons of greenhouse gases per square meter. The seaweed industry holds various values, as seaweed is also used in food, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. The most urgent issue now is to establish a large enough cultivation area, leveraging the advantages of a long coastline and a vast exclusive economic zone.
Vietnam is home to over 800 species of seaweed, 90 of which have economic value. According to scientists, seaweed grows 30 to 60 times faster than land plants, enabling it to absorb more carbon dioxide and thus create significant carbon sinks.
Seaweed has chlorophyll. It has the same mechanism as green trees, absorbing carbon and releasing oxygen. We can harvest it before sunset for processing.
The Blue Ocean Blue Foods program, aimed at establishing carbon sink for aquaculture industry, has just been launched with the participation of all stakeholders. The goal is to develop large-scale seaweed cultivation to mitigate climate change, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and enhance community livelihoods. Businesses are now producing bioplastic cups from seaweed. Vietnamese seaweed has notable strengths in pharmaceutical sector.
We have extracted substances for chemistry and substances used in the food industry that could be used in dairy products. The amount extracted from Vietnamese seaweed is much higher than seaweed from Japan and South Korea, as was shown in our trial.
Currently, not only are there pure seaweed areas, but seaweed can also be combined with other seafood, such as oyster and pearl farming, to increase their added value. If we have a large enough cultivation area, farmers can sell carbon credits with the help of international organizations.
According to Department of Fisheries, Vietnam's potential seaweed cultivation area could reach about 1 million hectares, yielding 600,000 to 700,000 tons of dry seaweed annually. The agricultural industry recognizes seaweed as a green material that can help clean the sea and atmosphere, while providing a good income for people, given the relatively low investment costs.
Coming up next, heavy rain strikes northern mountains. And Ho Chi Minh City records lowest birth rate nationwide. Welcome back to VTV News. Localized heavy rains continued to shower the northern mountainous region from Tuesday night to Wednesday morning, causing many landslides in the area. This has resulted in property damage, significantly affecting the lives of residents. The most severe damage has been reported in the provinces of Hà Giang and Điện Biên.
Heavy rain washed across Bắc Quang district, with Tân Lập commune recording nearly 500 millimeters of rain. The rising floodwaters swept away many properties. Provincial Road 177, passing through Tân Lập commune, experienced severe landslides at 4 locations.
Landslides occurred on many roads, cutting off the villages. The Provincial Road 177 has multiple landslide points causing obstructions.
In addition to Bắc Quang district, the districts of Vị Xuyên and Hoàng Su Phi in Hà Giang province also reported many landslides, causing damage to transportation and residential houses. Điện Biên is another locality suffering a significant damage after the recent heavy rains. Preliminary statistics in Thieng Sơ commune show that large volumes of soil and rock have flowed into homes, burying the property of 12 households in Ten Luong and Cang villages. It is forecast that the Midland and Northern mountainous provinces will continue to experience widespread thunderstorms, with some areas receiving very heavy rain of over 100 millimeters.
1 month since the rainy season started, there have been various landslides happening along the bank of rivers and canals in Thạch Hóa district, Long An Southern province. The landslides have affected many local dikes, roads, and local residents' houses. Specifically, in the past few days, 3 landslide points have been reported along the 30/4 canal in Ông Quế hamlet. The damage has a total length of up to 170 meters, encroaching 5 to 8 meters deep into the dike surface. In some areas, about 20 meters of the road surface was eroded due to large cracks. The incidents have caused lots of transportation difficulties. What's more, nearly 550 hectares of agricultural land were threatened. Since the beginning of the year, there have been 8 landslides and occurrences of land subsidence along rivers and canals in Thạch Hóa district, causing over 380 meters of damage. The average number of children per woman of a reproductive age in Ho Chi Minh City is among the lowest in the country, and this figure continues to drop at an alarming rate. If 10 years ago an average woman in the city gave birth to 1.68 children, it is now only 1.32 children. The risk of an aging population caused by declining birth rates was flagged as soon as the city entered the golden population period, when more than 75% of the population was of working age.
As soon as she wrapped up work, Phương Thanh hurried home to take her daughter to dance class. She and her husband had planned to have a second child when their daughter was 3 or 4 years old. But the pandemic, work issues, and health problems caused the plan to be put on hold.
My mom keeps saying that she doesn't have time for another child. Her hands are full with just one, so 2 would be overwhelming.
I am getting older every year, and I know my health is not good enough for another child. I also know that having only one child means they carry a heavier burden in the future. I have to ensure their education and also plan for my future so as not to burden them.
One factor for this is an increase in secondary infertility, such as childbirth at older ages and abortions. This trailer has been shown in 40 CGV cinemas in Ho Chi Minh City. This is the newest part of the creative communication campaign that directly impacts young people.
The decision to have children, to have 2 children or not, lies with the couples. If they understand this, they are more likely to agree with our birth promotion policy.
This is how Ho Chi Minh City is implementing comprehensive and synchronized solutions to encourage childbirth. The city aims to resolve this issue promptly before the pressure of an aging population becomes too overwhelming.
Summer is the low season for international tourists visiting Vietnam. However, it is the peak period for domestic tourism. As a result, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has launched a program titled Vietnamese Travel to Vietnam, Vietnam, I Love It, to promote inbound tourism. Many localities have participated in this program.
Hanoians and tourists experience 4- and 5-star hotel services in Hanoi. This is a program by the Hanoi Department of Tourism to attract more domestic tourists to the capital city. These high-end hotels offer preferential rates and product packages that include rooms, restaurants, seminars, and service discount vouchers.
This summer, visitors to Hanoi are welcomed with a wide range of day and night tours to explore the city's relics and heritage. Additionally, visitors can also enjoy high-end experiences in services and hotels in the capital city.
Not only Hanoi, but Da Nang also launched its summer tourism stimulation program from June to September the 30th. With a budget of around $120, visitors from Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are offered round-trip tickets and 2 nights of accommodation in Da Nang.
The recent Da Nang Fireworks Festival has attracted a great number of tourists. I believe this approach can stimulate inbound tourism. We are also competing with other destinations in the region. For example, Hanoi tourists can opt for Da Nang, Phu Quoc, or destinations like Thailand's Phuket. These destinations are competing with each other.
In the context of high airfares, the program is expected to strongly promote inbound tourism across the country.
Coming up next, NATO seeks new development directions. And Chile's Atacama Desert, the world's driest place in bloom. The NATO 75th Anniversary Summit took place in Washington, D.C. The invitation of leaders from Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea to the summit marked a significant shift in NATO's strategy. This is the transition from a traditional North Atlantic-focused alliance to an organization with a more global vision and role. At this summit, NATO invited its Asia-Pacific partners to discuss expanding cooperation, aiming to address new challenges. NATO and the 4 Indo-Pacific partners plan to launch 4 new joint projects related to Ukraine, artificial intelligence, misinformation, and cybersecurity. Previously, NATO's expansion primarily focused on political and traditional security. However, as the virtual space impact on the international landscape has increased, NATO is expanding its cooperation in emerging security fields. Additionally, the organization is actively expanding its cooperation with Asia-Pacific partners and enhancing its presence at regional security forums like the Shangri-La Dialogue. EcoMastro, the first container ship powered by biomethanol, has been launched in the port city of Rotterdam, Netherlands. The ship has a dead weight of nearly 13,700 tons and can carry over 1,200 standard containers. It is set to operate between the bustling seaports of Europe. EcoMastro is also one of the few ships globally that can flexibly use both biomethanol and conventional, more polluting fuels. This event marked a significant step forward in the green journey towards reducing the massive carbon emissions of the shipping industry. It is estimated that using methanol will help reduce carbon emissions by 65% compared to fossil fuels. The South Korean government has issued a decree requiring all students in the country to participate in suicide prevention training starting from July the 12th. The training program educates students on the nature of suicide, including factors that contribute to mental health decline and strategies to overcome such conditions, and practical guidance on supporting individuals exposed to high risk of suicide. South Korea aims to halve the suicide rate over the next 10 years, bringing it down to the average level of OECD countries, which is 10.6 cases per 100,000 people. In the first half of last year, nearly 7,000 people in South Korea committed suicide. This is an 8.8% increase compared to the previous year. The Atacama Desert in northern Chile is one of the driest places on Earth, but swaths of its usually desolate sand are currently carpeted with a colorful bloom of white and purple flowers. The early rains in recent days have awakened flowers in the dead of the southern hemisphere winter and on the most barren land.
The Atacama has been dubbed the flowering desert because every few years it's blanketed with flowers when the right levels of rainfall and temperature coincide to awaken dormant desert seeds. This usually happens in the spring, but recent heavy rains attributed to the weather phenomenon known as El Nino have caused them to bloom early.
July is just starting and we are expecting rain in the upcoming weeks. This will activate the germplasm in all of the communes and provinces where the flowering desert occurs. In the meantime, we must wait and monitor this anomaly, this very limited and specific activation. It's a coincidence that the blooming areas are located in the Desierto Florido National Park, so we call on visitors to take maximum caution.
The phenomenal transformation from barren sand into a blooming flower field has attracted many visitors to the area.
It's a privilege to see this and to enjoy it in this way, but in a respectful way. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to walk in this place and to enjoy its beauty during this season.
It's the first time I've seen the flowering desert. We were driving through during our holiday and decided to stop to see it.
There have not yet been enough winter blooms to officially be considered an occurrence of the flowering desert, but more rains are expected over the next few weeks, which could cause flowers to bloom across a wider area. Early blooming of the Atacama last occurred in 2015.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.